What's going on? Thank y'all for joining another episode of Conquering Dreams. I know it's been a while, but I have been busy. You know, when you own two companies and trying to get a third one off the ground, along with trying to do real estate, doing all those other things, I'm busy. But hey, that's the nature of the beast. But I did a post not too long back about the follow up. And I'm gonna go full disclosure with this, right? When I had signed up for training for video training for the Cardone University training that for Grant Cardone, and I'm not in sales or anything. And I said, you know what, it's just a good tool to have in my belt. So I wanted to make sure that I got some training in sales. You know, I was like, what the hell? So, but what I found out in that whole training aspect of that, right, was most of it was follow up. And I found it kind of interesting and like it was very repetitive. Follow up, follow up, follow up. And I was like, okay. So then I got to thinking, I said, you know what? The interesting thing about this is a lot of times when I'm trying to do business with another business, I literally have to follow up with them in order to get business. And the crazy thing about it, and the crazy thing about it in African American culture, right? What's the first thing we say? Well, if they don't hit me back, I'm not gonna be bothered with them, or I'll move on to somebody else, or X, Y, and Z. And that's actually not the way that you should look at it when you're trying to operate a business. So if the people don't hit you back, it's not that they don't want your business, it's that you gotta go sell them on your business. Or you're like, I don't feel like I don't want to beg anybody for anything. It's like it's not begging. It's called a follow up. You know, when you run in a business or when you try to get another business or try to get another service added to your business, where you try to get a cleaning supply or a cleaning company to come in and clean your office building, and you're making that phone call, and for whatever reason you hit the front desk and say you hit the secretary or the receptionist, and they say, well, such and such who makes the decision is not here to be able to give you a quote. And you say, okay, well, here's my number, blah, 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 right? And then you sit back and you wait. 2 days go by, you don't hear anything from them. So, but this is the company you want to work with. Let's say you even find another company, you do the same thing. Nobody hits you back. So what do you got to do? You got to follow up. Now, one thing I have found out in all the trainings and everything that I've looked at is a lot of companies don't follow up on their own sales. So it may not be that they don't want to do business with you. It may be that they just dropped the ball. Because when you left that message with the receptionist, did the message get to the person that needed to get it? Is the person who needs to get it, are they on vacation? Do they have a family emergency? All of which you don't know. But after 3-4 days, you've got to follow up, right? Now, one of my businesses that I do, which is in the mental health industry, right? So we had to get credentialed through all these different insurance companies. So basically, when that happened, you fill out the application and you send everything off, and then it would go in the proverbial black hole, and then you wait for a response. So that's what I did. But then after a while, I was like, you know what? It's been a month. Let me call and follow up. So a lot of times you gotta follow up on things that you're trying to get accomplished, because to be quite frank with you, the days of good customer service is gone. It's gone, people. And if you really take a real look at it, the companies that are really thriving today, Amazon, Apple, is really because they're doing the basic needs of providing good customer service. You know, it's amazing. Like, how many people, let's talk about phone carriers. How many people have you heard complain about Sprint, about T-Mobile service? But they're locked in a 2-year contract. And then Verizon says, come on over and port over and we'll buy your phone and whatnot. They're all playing on each other's lack of ability to provide customer service. Now you may have your favorite phone carrier, but the point still is a lot of times you choose what you want to work with and what business you want to work with based on the customer service and their like ability. Okay? And a lot of that has to do with the follow up. So a lot of times, even with companies, now let's take it to the next step, right? Let's take another step. If you're owning a business, you're starting out and you're starting to get your first employees, right? When you have 5 employees, it's real easy to follow up with your employees. How you doing? How are they doing? Getting to know them, following up on their tasks. But when you start to grow and you hit 50 employees, 60 employees, 100 employees, do you have your hands wrapped around everything? Do you really know what's going on? How do you find out? You can put procedures in place and policies in place to give you little ticklers when stuff is done. But even that is like a pre-follow up. It gives you a measurability of things, right? Eventually, you're going to have to pick up your phone or go down the hallway or go to the location and follow up with the employee on what they are doing or did not get accomplished. You know, we tend to people talk about like the employee evaluation, right? And the employees always think or always say, well, my employee evaluation it should be directly tied to, you know, whether or not I get a raise or anything like that, right? Or my bonus or anything like that. If you really sit and think about it, the employee evaluation is nothing but a follow-up meeting on your performance. It's just a follow-up. And maybe for 3 months, maybe for the 6 months, you know, ordeal review or a yearly review, right? It's still a follow-up. When you sit and look at everything that you're doing business-wise, and even as a consumer, it's really based on a follow-up, right? So you sitting at home and you see a commercial or you see something on your phone, and then you say, you know what? I want that item. Let me go buy the item. And it's really what you're saying is let me go follow up on that and see if this item works for me. Let me go to Best Buy and take a look at this TV. Let me look at it. Let me touch and feel it. Or if you're one of the types that there is no Best Buy electronic store by you, there's no Walmart by you to look at this item, and you say, you know what, I'm gonna have to just go on faith and buy it online. Or you may follow up online and look at the reviews of it. It's all a follow-up to something. But the one crazy thing about all of this, right, is that Facebook, Google, and everybody else has made a killing off of tapping into the ability to follow up. Think about it. People always talk about on social media about how their phones is listening to them, or they'll have a conversation about something. The next thing you know, they get on their phone and it's there. That is still 100% the follow-up. That's them following up with you. Oh, you Googled Captain D's. And the next thing you know, you're on Instagram, you see Captain D's. It's like, wow, that's them following up with you. Facebook, Instagram, and all in Google has basically tapped into that system to be able to help companies follow up with you. Say, hey, you was thinking about us, you researched this, there's one near you. How about go over there and get this sale, partake in this sale? That is a follow-up. So I just really wanted to real quick go in more depth on what I had just recently posted about the follow-up and the importance of that. How does this affect you? All right. So this affects you by making sure that you yourself are taking responsibility to follow up on the stuff that you are responsible for. So if you're in a management position, or you're an employee at working somewhere, or you're a business owner, you have to make sure that you understand what is your responsibility, what people are going to be holding you accountable for, and then following up on those items if not daily, at least weekly, to really get a good handle on how things are going. Because I'm going to tell you, if you're an employee and you've been following up on stuff, and then your supervisor come ask you a question and you have all the answers to their questions and proof of those answers, it's not going to be long if you keep doing that you won't see a promotion or some type of raise or a bonus in your near future, because hardly anybody is doing the follow-up. It's real simple. Now we could get into time management and scheduling out time. I know you've heard the hashtag follow-up Fridays. You know, you could pick a Friday, pick a day, pick a time during the week where you're just going to sit down, make the phone calls, and follow up on the stuff that you are responsible for. Now, here's a little nugget. Understand what your boss is responsible for and help them follow up on something. So then when you can say, hey, I had some free time. I called in to such and such to see how things was doing, and this is the information that they gave me. Here you go. Have a great day. Now, I guarantee your supervisor's going to be looking like, did that just happen? Like, yeah, it did just happen. And a lot of great companies have people out there that are doing this. So let me tell you something. It's not that many people out there that's going to follow up. So if you're going to do that, you're going to put yourself in at least the top 20% of the workforce out there that will follow up. And just think about it. And I tell people all the time that work for me, I said, look, if you had to get something for your child that was very important and you called that particular place that had the item, right? Think about Christmas when the Black Friday or the item that everybody needs or everybody wants is out there, and your child is begging you for it. They asked Santa for it. You got to go get it. How many stores did you call? And then when you called them up and they said, well, it's coming in on Wednesday, right? And then you made a mental note to call back on Wednesday or to show up on Wednesday morning. Take off from work. That's your follow-up. Your follow-up game has got to be that strong for your work, for your employer. And especially if you own a business, your child that asks you for that item for Christmas is the same as your business asking you for something. I need this for my business. So that business is now your baby as well. It's now your child. So now you got to go follow up. You got to follow up with the same tenacity and actions that you will follow up for your child when they ask you for something. Thank y'all so much for listening. This is CB Baker. Till next time.